What's going on, Jae'sean? Today we're talking about John Wall and his trade situation because there was a recent statement earlier today talking about John Wall and the Houston Rockets mutually agreeing for him to sit out of games and find a trade in the future. So what's up? My name is JDC. If you like the video, drop it down below. We do NBA content here, but mostly Houston Rockets. Obviously, with the Rockets and NBA content being very slow right now, we are trying to expand our content to other teams. But today, we do have a Houston Rockets video, so that's good. We have some Rockets news today, which is also very great because I haven't uploaded in like 5 days, so we finally got something to talk about. And we're just gonna be talking about some trade destinations and why this is a good move for the Rockets. So if you like what you see, drop it down below, press the sub button, and let's get straight into the video. So John Wall and Houston Rockets, like I said earlier, they did agree to mutually for him to sit out games and then find a trade destination for him in the future. Now, the number one team I see trading for him are the Mavericks because they do need a very solid starting caliber point guard. Obviously, Luka, he could play the point guard for them, but I just mostly see him as a shooting guard. And also, they really do need someone that can score the ball other than Luka because, Porzingis can't really score the ball that much, although he was very great in the regular season. Did average 20 points per game, 9 rebounds, and 2 assists last season. Obviously, that's great stats, but in the postseason was absolutely trash. So their second option was Tim Hardaway Jr., who actually he played very well for them in the postseason, especially because of his shooting ability. Like, I like his shooting ability a lot. Did average 17 points per game, did average 3 rebounds, and then 2 assists. So, and then in the postseason, did average 17 points per game, 1 rebound, 3 rebounds, and then 1 assist. So, and then his shooting splits were absolutely amazing, 42% from the field, and then 40% from 3 in the postseason. So, Tim Hardaway Jr. was definitely their second scoring option in the playoffs. I don't know if that's really enough for them to really make a good playoff push, a deep playoff push, because they just really need a point guard now. They do have people like, what's his face? Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson's name out there for their point guard position, but I'm not really too sold on Brunson. I think everyone who follows Swag, if you guys want to know who he is, another NBA content / Houston Rockets content creator, but everyone knows that I don't like Jalen Brunson because he's just very undersized for the position. Now, he can shoot the ball. That's what I like about Jalen Brunson, but other than that, I just don't really like his game all that too well. So, other than that, they don't really have any other point guards other than Trey Burke, who is a really good three-point shooter over the season. He did shoot 35% from the three, which isn't all that great, but he is a career 35% three-point shooter, which is good. So, the only problem is he doesn't get any playing time in the postseason. He only played in 2 games, which is absolutely horrible, and only did average 0.5 points per game. So, bring in John Wall, that starting caliber John Wall right there, who can run the point guard, who can come off the bench. I don't even know how they're going to run him, but I'm just guessing they are going to start him. But first, it would probably be John Wall, Luka, Tim Hardaway Jr. at the 3. I'm guessing at the 4, either Moses Brown or Porzingis, and then vice versa for the 5, because it just makes more sense right there. But no, that's what the starting 5 could look like. They could add in Maxi Kleber over Moses Brown, which I don't know. I like Moses Brown a lot at the starting center / power forward. I think it'd be pretty great for this team. Did average 9 points per game, 9 rebounds, and then 0.2 assists last season. Pretty great stats from Moses Brown, but Maxi Kleber is probably going to be starting over him just for the simple fact that he has more experience, which makes sense. So now what the Rockets would get in exchange for John Wall, I'm not really sure if the Mavericks are willing to give up any young players, because they do have a lot of good young players. They wouldn't give up Jalen Brunson. Sterling Brown, obviously, you wouldn't give up because he was just there last season. Moses Brown, they wouldn't give up. They could give up Reggie Bullock, which would be pretty cool. He is 30 years old, 6'6", 205 pounds, did average 11 points per game, 3 rebounds, and then 2 assists, and shot 41% from 3, which is good because the Rockets do need some floor spacing. So Bullock could be in that deal. He is making $9 million. Trey Burke, they could also look to move him because he's not getting minutes either. I wouldn't be too mad about Trey Burke, only 28 years old. And Reggie Bullock's only 30, which, in between the age of, pretty old, but also not that old. So, other than that, not really too much going on here. I mean, Josh Green could be a name that they could throw in because he hasn't been getting too many minutes. Only played in 39 games, did average 3 points per game. Nothing too much there. He is 20 years old too, so I'm guessing they do add in Josh Green because he isn't getting any minutes. They could add in someone other than, him to, match the salary, but I'm not really too sure who they would add. I mean, Dwight Powell, they could add him. He is 30 years old, and he is making $11 million too, so salary could work like that. Maybe Dwight Powell, Maxi Kleba, and Josh Green, and then maybe add in John Wall and then someone else. I'm not really too sure who to give up. Maybe Augustine just for that backup point guard position, but it'd be a pretty hefty haul for John Wall. Now, I'm not saying like hefty haul in terms of like a lot of trade pieces, but for the value he is, the trade value is, and what the Mavericks are giving up, it's going to be pretty big for the Rockets. I'm just guessing they package Maxi Kleba or Dwight Powell in either one of the deals because they're both making, Maxi Kleba's making 8 mil, Dwight Powell's making 11 mil. We got to make salary work here. So unless there's another way the Rockets could get rid of John Wall, but we'll talk about that next. But in terms of trade pieces, those two would probably be included in there. I would like Josh Green, but I don't know if they would give him up. We'd probably have to give up a first or another player, which if it's someone that's old, Augustine, I would give up Augustine. We wouldn't give up Gordon because that's just too much salary at that point, so no point. But if it was a pick, I don't really want to give up a pick, but if we're getting Josh Green back, I wouldn't mind. So that's honestly what the trade package would look like. They don't really have any other trade pieces on any other trade assets either, because this team is pretty low on trade assets. They don't really have first round picks either, so it's going to be very tough to make a trade with them. But I think this deal would honestly go through. The Dallas Mavericks definitely need a starting point guard, and John Wall could be that for them. So now talking about the other way the Rockets can get a John Wall is a buyout. So a buyout basically just means that the two sides, the Rockets and John Wall, they mutually agree to basically split ways, and then I'm not too sure how to explain it that well, but his contract just completely diminishes, or like it gets really small. Well, it's smaller than it was before, and then he becomes a free agent. So and then after that, if someone in the postseason, I think his salary goes back all the way up. So honestly, I'm not really too sure how the buyout works, but that's basically a rundown that the Rockets and then John Wall, they both agree to mutually part, and then they agree on a contract, and then they release him, and then he becomes a free agent. So yep, that's basically it. The buyout, it's pretty cool, but I think you do lose money while doing that, so that doesn't really make too much sense. The Dallas Mavericks trade also pretty enticing, but I don't really know if they would give up Josh Green. The problem with John Wall is that I don't know if any team would take a chance on him because he is injury prone, he is 31 years old, and no teams really need a point guard right now. And I don't really think any teams would give up anything in value for John Wall, other than maybe like a bench role player, maybe like a second round pick. I'm not really too sure. Not even a second round pick. That'd be too valuable for John Wall. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see where John Wall lands I don't even think he's going to be gone in the offseason, probably somewhere mid-season / around the end. It's going to be a very interesting season for the Rockets. It already is a pretty interesting season for the Rockets. We got the preseason coming up on October 5th. I'm recording this on September 14th of 2021. So it's going to be very interesting to see the first game of the Rockets. KPJ and Jalen Green. Now, I don't think there's going to be any fuss at all about who's starting. KPJ, Jalen Green, Jae'Sean Tate, Christian Wood, and Daniel Tice. I think that's our starting five right there. No questions asked. Nothing to complain about. That's just the starting five right there. So John Wall, his time in Houston was cool. 21-9, but it was a good run. So hopefully John Wall gets out of here soon, and it was good and well. So rip John Wall, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.